The health crisis of fatty liver is quickly becoming a global pandemic, and it's worrisome because of the severe consequences that a fatty liver has on the rest of your body. So it begs the question, what is a root cause of fatty liver? Well, it's not what you think. Hey Wellness Warrior, it's Dr. Zyrowski. The incidence of fatty liver is exploding all over the world. It's diets high in sugar and processed vegetable oils that are certainly playing a large role in causing this disease, but there are other risk factors that you don't even know about. Let's take a step back and look at this from another angle. It's well established that those who suffer from insulin resistance can also suffer from obesity, hormone dysregulation, and high cholesterol, even high blood pressure. Now furthermore, it's well established that insulin resistance leads to fatty liver. But where does insulin resistance come from? High sugar, high carb diets and lots of sweets? Well, not necessarily. There's a new player in town and it's worse than you think. It's pesticides. Researchers have found that the risk of diabetes spiked as the level of pesticides in your blood increased. People with low and moderate levels of pesticides had 14 to 15 times the risks of developing diabetes compared to those with very low levels. And people with high levels of pesticides in their blood had a 38-time risk increase of developing diabetes. Now, pesticides are not well metabolized or excreted by the human body, and even small doses you consume can accumulate in your body over time. Pesticide residues have been extensively measured in the human blood, body fat, and also breast milk, meaning children are getting it right at the starting line of life, and that is terrifying. The National Health and Examination Survey found that more than 80% of people had 6 chemical contaminants in their blood, most of which were commonly used chlorinated pesticides and herbicides. Now, the CDC released the results of the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey just last month, which showed that over 80% of urine samples in both adults and children tested by the CDC contained glyphosate, which is a pesticide. The EPA and FDA and all the big government agencies that are tasked with the duty of keeping you safe have told us for years that pesticides are safe. The small amounts that you're consuming can't hurt you. And these agencies, as well, have their corporate interest in mind and not your health. Now, despite all the evidence that pesticides are killing you, the EPA says this, and I quote, "The EPA continues to find that there are no risk of concern to human health when glyphosate is used in accordance with its current label." Okay, that's not what the science is saying. The science just said very small doses can accumulate in the body. Now, they also have stated, the EPA, and I quote, "The EPA also found that glyphosate is unlikely to be a human carcinogen." Now, let me tell you, a key factor in being able to be on the cutting edge of health is uncovering facts like this, that a chemical that you're eating daily and told is safe is causing a metabolic disaster in your body, leading to insulin resistance and also fatty liver, and also is highly correlated with cancer. Now, you might say to yourself, I don't eat these foods with pesticides or glyphosate on it. Then let me ask you this, if you're thinking that. Do you eat strawberries? Do you eat apples, spinach, bread, and pretty much any fruit and vegetable that is out there for that matter? Well, the truth is, if you do, then you are consuming pesticides. The Environmental Working Group noted in a statement just a week ago that 87% of the 650 children tested had detectable levels of glyphosate, according to the CDC's analysis. Now, there's a study linking Roundup, which most people are spraying all around their house, with fatty liver, and it was published in the Journal of Nature. The study was led by the King's College in London and evaluated the molecular composition of the liver of female rats who were given extremely low doses of glyphosate weed killer for a 2-year period. That kind of sounds like we encounter as humans, right? Low doses for many years. The dose used in the study was thousands of times below what is permitted by the regulators worldwide. The rats developed non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So what can you do about this? A company called Monsanto developed this product, and then Monsanto was sold to Bayer Pharmaceutical for $63 billion. They don't have your best interest, and either does the regulatory agencies like the EPA or the FDA that's telling us this stuff is safe. And the reason for me telling you this is because this kind of money that they're throwing around is because they are extremely wealthy, and the companies can get the governmental agencies like EPA, FDA to greenlight pretty much anything they want to do. So you have to look out for yourself and make educated decisions, and that's step one. Now, step two to avoiding this toxin-induced fatty liver is to eat organic whenever possible, but more specifically when you eat these foods. I'll go through the list of highly sprayed foods. These are highly sprayed with chemicals: strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, bell peppers and also hot peppers, cherries, peaches, pears, celery, and also tomatoes. These are the highest sprayed fruits and vegetables, which ultimately makes them the most dangerous to your liver and to you because they're linked to cancer. You must eat organic or buy from small farmers markets where you can trust that these farmers are growing these crops sustainably and not covering them in chemicals. Also, get yourself some liver support. Whether it's a full detox or just a daily booster, I think your liver needs it. I'll link some options that I use regularly in my clinic below. But from a clinical perspective, I'm starting to think that a daily liver support should be taken just as we might take a multivitamin, because the more I dive into the research with this stuff, these different chemicals, the scarier it becomes for your health. So control the controllables and make changes where you can. If you like this video, I think you'll really like this video next.